Even as missiles and drones streak across the entire region, US President Donald Trump has suggested that a deal is possible to end the war in West Asia. Let's take a look at where things stand as of now. My colleague Shreya Upadhyay tells you more.
Well, even as missiles and drones streak across the entire region, remember the US president has suggested that a deal is possible to end the war in West Asia. Let's take you through where things stand right now, what Iran has been saying and what the US has been saying as far as the negotiations and the conditions to end the war are concerned. Donald Trump has claimed that America is in talks with a top Iranian official. Remember, this is the word that he's used, the top man in Iran. And he's also claimed that there are as many as 15 points of agreement with Iran that are being negotiated upon, the most important one being that of nuclear weapons. The US president has also claimed that Tehran has agreed not to have nuclear weapons. Iran has so far, remember, not commented on these claims that the US president has made. But here's what Donald Trump has said. Take a listen.
You said there's many points of agreement with Iran right now.
Many.
What can you give us a
Many, like 15 points. 15 points.
Iran has said yes.
Well, they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. That's number one. That's number 1, 2, and 3. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
They said yes to that?
They've agreed to that.
Now remember, Iran says that there has been no direct or indirect talks with America. A number of Iranians have been saying this. The top leadership has been reiterating this, posting on social media as well. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai has confirmed that messages have been exchanged via friendly countries, but he's also gone on to say that these have been rejected by Iran. Iran has already outlined its own conditions to stop this war. Remember, it has given out 6 core conditions. Let me take you through each one of them. The first one being that a legal framework should be made for the Strait of Hormuz, which now, of course, as we all know, has become the latest war zone, this entire significant waterway where a lot of global oil trade goes from. The closure of the US bases in the region is something that Iran has also been demanding from America. Number 3, Iran wants guarantees against further aggression by US and Israel. It wants assurances and security guarantees by both America as well as Israel that there will be no further aggression after a deal is made. The payment of reparations for the damages that have been caused in this entire conflict, which is now in its 4th war, reconstruction and the kind of rehabilitation that people would need, that reparations Iran is demanding from America as well. The prosecution and extradition of anti-war media individuals in the West, that is also something that Iran has been demanding. And it has been saying that there should be an end to regional conflict against allies. Extremely important. Remember, we have seen how multiple Gulf countries have been embroiled in this war. It doesn't want its regional allies to be affected. It also doesn't want its proxies like Hezbollah to be impacted. So the contours of any kind of agreement still remains unclear. But remember, Donald Trump has maintained that Iran has agreed not to build a nuclear weapon. The big question, of course, now being, will Iran agree not to build the nuclear weapon? So far, we haven't heard from Tehran. It has denied wanting one. Whether this question is answered in this deal, we'll have to wait and see. The other issue could be that of uranium enrichment. The other big question is Iran ready to give up enriched uranium stockpile? Remember, Donald Trump has been saying that Iran must give up its enriched uranium stockpile. Iran has repeatedly rejected this idea of zero uranium enrichment. It also remains to be seen, remember, will Iran agree to the restrictions on missile programs, something that Donald Trump has been saying. He's been claiming that the entire missile program of Iran has been obliterated by America. That is something that we'll have to wait and see whether that happens, whether Iran agrees to it. So far, they haven't said officially anything about this key point in the agreement. And one of the big questions also remains, will Israel accept the Iran-US deal? That is one of the biggest questions, how Israel will be reacting to this deal, to the negotiations, how it moves forward, and whether the U.S. is able to convince Prime Minister Netanyahu to have this off-ramp once the deal is done, if it is done at all. The big question also is, are talks a smokescreen for the U.S. crown ops? And that is something that a lot of strategists across the world have been saying, that perhaps this 5 working day pause on Iranian infrastructure, energy infrastructure not being hit, is a strategy by America to buy more time so that it can plan and implement its military plans on ground. And the first and foremost option of that would be more U.S. troops that are expected to arrive in West Asia soon. Could that determine the fate of the current war? We'll have to wait and see. But as far as this entire conflict is concerned, remember, these are the big questions that still remain unanswered, and perhaps we will get an answer to them in the coming weeks and months.